Yeah, so I was saying about the ring, the 5 golden rings, before I was interrupted there. A lot of us didn't like it. I think I need to bling it up a little bit more. I tried to make the centerpiece here look a bit like an emerald, which is my birthstone, but I don't think it did. But anyway, it's got number 5 on the back, 5 gold rings. Now you'll see that we're getting a little bit more intricate, as I said. 6 geese a laying. So here we are with our 6th bird. And again, you can see he's actually sitting on his nest, and there's 3 of the patterns that come with 2 parts to it. The first one is the pair, the partridge, because you get the pattern to do the pair. This one, number 6, we get the pattern for the goose in his nest, and then you also get a pattern for the egg. And then the Lord of Leaping, you actually get 2 love hearts in the Lord of Leaping. So that's my 6 geese a laying. And you can see there's a lot more detail that's coming into it, and it's got number 6 on the back. 6, number 7. 7 swans are swimming. Okay, so you can see this here represents the water, and you can see the detail of that. Okay, and that's number 7. 7 swans. I'll get used to this, I'm sure. It's like doing everything back to front and sideways. 7 swans are swimming. Now that's the last of the birds, and I have to laugh whenever I think of the Irish 12 Days of Christmas. So if ever you get a chance, have a listen to it. It is absolutely hilarious. Okay, so we've got number 8. 8 maids a milking. So here she is with her little white gumboots and her 2 pails of milk. And again, as I said, dolly it up any way you want. So 8 maids a milking, and she's got a beautiful little beret or hat there. And I even managed to put in each of the pails some white to make it look like she's carrying milk. Okay, so that's the 8 maids a milking. 9 drummers drumming. This again is probably one of my favourite ones. And I actually bought the faces already painted, because he would not look like that if it was left up to me to do the painting on his face. Good God, no, he'd probably look a bit like a fisherman. But anyway, you can see, where are we? The detail of his face, and this little what's the thingamajig here was an old earring, and I'd lost one of them, so I thought that fits in there quite nicely. And so that's the number 9. 9 drummers drumming, and off it goes in there, and you keep away from that maid a milking. 10 pipers piping, and this one was done a little bit on the awkward side because he was sort of done sideways. So as I said, they're getting a little bit more intricate in the way that they're doing, and as you can see, very, very detailed, and his arms, and he's got his pipe, and he's got all of this lovely stitching down here, and he's number 10. He's got a lovely little beret and a little feather in his cap. So that is 10 pipers piping. 10 pipers piping. And again, beautiful. He's got little brown boots. Now each of these probably took me about a week to do, and I'll show you as I'm doing Mr. and Mrs. Claus. I'll show you how I actually do them. So that's 11 ladies dancing. Okay, and the funny thing is when she's all done, her feet start dancing. It's amazing, and her arm is up supposedly to represent some sort of a dance. I've actually put extra little pearls around her neck here, and if I turn her around, you'll see she's got a little. Oh, I thought she had a bow on the back, but she hasn't. But she's got a Chanel pipe cleaner, which makes her hair. And this is where I put the. Where are we? So I'll put a little thing there. I will eventually get this camera done. I might buy myself a separate camera that can take it from different angles. But that's 11 ladies dancing. Now, of course, I don't think I need to say it, that you're not going to do 12 drummers drumming, 12 pipers, 12 lords a leaping, because it would do your head in. This, I think I found him to be the most difficult, and he's sort of midstream with a leap. So he's 12 lords a leaping, and you can see he's got his hat on, and the very funny thing about this is that when I initially did his body, right, I did his body, I don't, you can't see it here, but I did his body in a skin tone, and I was putting his legs on, and I had his little cap jacket on, and I happened to turn him upside down like this, and the part here, where is it? This part here, right? He was naked. It was like he had no knickers on. So, needless to say, I had to quickly do a repair job and redo his body to make sure that it fitted in with the colour of his trousers. So, it was quite hilarious. But funny that the flyaway of his coat, and you can see the little lace around the end of his sleeves and his boots. Now he's got, which I haven't done yet, the two love hearts, which fit in with him. Now I've seen them on Etsy, or not on Etsy, I've seen them on Amazon, and they're like a branch, and they've actually got lights, and I'm going to hang them from that. So these are something that will become a family heirloom at some point in time. So so I'm quite excited about Christmas and putting them up and displaying them, and I'll display them in the entry of my haul. And funny, over the years I've always had interest in doing different types of crafts, and I did ceramics, and so I've got all the Christmas ceramics, you know, the snowman, the Christmas tree with the lights coming through, the reindeers and Santa. I think I've got a 3-foot Santa there, and he holds a light, and which when it comes to Christmas time I'll be able to show everybody what they look like. But they're absolutely brilliant, and they were all done probably about 15 years ago. And then I got into LED lighting, and I was making LED light pictures and windows and mirrors and things like that. Knitting, I've done a lot of knitting over the years. Always knitted the babies little matinee jackets and baby blankets, and then I got into the quilting, and so I've done a number of beautiful quilts for babies, and I had a shop. It was a cafe that I had here in Bundura, and it was called the Cozy Corner Irish Cafe, and you could come in and you could hear the Irish music going, and I'd always have fresh scones and homemade soups and things like that, and it became very, very popular with crafters, because right next door there was a friend who we've become firm, solid friends, Kate, and she had Kate's Sewing Centre right next door to my shop, and but a lot of the crafters would come in and they'd be doing their sewing and their hand stitching and all that sort of stuff while they were having a cup of tea. Anyway, it got me more interested in the sewing, and Kate's shop was a haberdashery. Now, if ever there was a wonderful word in the dictionary, it has to be haberdashery. I love that word. That's a word I'd like on my tombstone. Haberdashery. And it's all the notions and all the different things that you use for different sewing things, and I'd go into Kate's and I'd see something and I'm thinking, oh, I don't have that. Why have I not got that? Can I use it? Yes, I can. Of course I can. I'll find something to use it for. And the next thing it's in my bag. And Kate could always rely on me. But we became firm friends. And every Tuesday night, Kate would have, from 5 to 7, she would have a sewing class. And at the back where she had her sewing class, it was only a very, very small area. And if somebody in the back row wanted to go to the bathroom, everybody had to get up to let them go to the bathroom type. That was the space. And one of the ladies, Dawn, went over to England for 6 weeks and around Europe. And so Kate said to me, look, while Dawn was away, would you like to come in and join the class? And I said, yes I will. And so myself and Kate would have something to eat in my shop around 4:30, and then we'd go in and we'd do sewing. And I bought myself a purpose-built small little sewing machine, and I had it in my shop, and when I had no customers, I'd be sitting there sewing. And anyway, needless to say, Dawn came back from her overseas visit, and she's looking at me sitting in her chair, and I said, too bad, so sad. It is what it is. My chair now. I ain't going nowhere. So anyway, Kate's husband built another leaf onto the table, and we were all able to squeeze in, and we've all been together ever since. So Kate has since sold her shop, I've since sold my shop, and Kate has a beautiful sewing studio in Epping, which is probably only about 15-20 minutes away from me here, and a beautiful big sewing classroom. So every Tuesday night, that's where we go. Although I haven't now for the last few weeks because I've got health issues, so and it's winter. But so it's been fantastic having that interest, and we're all funny, over the years we've all sort of graduated towards doing hand stitchery. Dawn would have to be the most beautiful, eloquent sewer that I've ever come across, and she's the lady who introduced us all to the 12 Days of Christmas, and she's done the Ebenezer Scrooge series, she's done the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas series, and she does beautiful gold work, and she's actually teaches us the 12 Days of Christmas on the second Saturday of every month. So she's doing, she does fantastic, and I love Dawn with all my heart, and she's a very, very talented lady, and if ever I'm stuck for something, I'll always give Dawn a ring and say, look, Dawn, how do I do this, or and she's always there full of praise, is Dawn. So, but I haven't been to my sewing for quite a while because of the fact that I've been very unwell. I've had a stint in hospital which lasted about a week, so I had the COVID, and but I'm over it now. I'm back to work tomorrow. I go back to work, and all is well. So I'm looking forward to getting back to some sort of normality after being unwell. So but I'll only go to sewing in the summer months, and it's just, you know, getting in and out of the car and that breeze and the wind and all that sort of stuff that can really upset you. But before I go, I mean, this video has been going now for nearly almost 16 minutes. But before I go, the different types of crafts that I'm interested in are there's quite a few, and I love the fact that just trying to see here all the different types of things. Brisilla is the art of making these beautiful Christmas stockings, and I think I showed them earlier on. This is one that I'm doing for my nephew Andrew, not Ryan. That's the thing, but I'm doing it for my nephew Andrew, and I've been working on it a bit today, and I've attached his hat. So I'm still got a little bit more to go with that. And this is stuff that I actually had when I was in the hospital. I took it in with me because it's easy enough to carry around. And this is the little Christmas wreath that goes on the front of the train. So I actually get into a lot of the videos, online videos, such as Plaid Craft, which they're sort of like the makers of Brisilla, and they introduce any of the new products that are coming out. Jennifer Good is another website that I get onto, or YouTube that I get onto, where she does and what she'll do is she'll do it in series. So number 1, and then it'll be number 2, and then it'll be number 3, and it might be she might have 5 videos on making the nutcracker, which is what I've been watching lately. And so I watch Jennifer Good quite well. Serve and Craft is another one that I watch from Brisilla. And Sassy, Stacey, Noella and Jen, who's a mother and daughter, and they you don't actually see them making, but you see all of the work that they've done, in particular Jan. So and then the 12 Days of Christmas, there's a couple of YouTubes out there. There's Prim Heirloom Designs and Mrs. Colvick Creative Textiles class, which again goes through the 12 Days of Christmas. The other things I'm interested in is things like hand stitching, hexagons, hand quilting, quilts, knitting, and all of that I've picked up from the Last Homely House, Kate, Jackson and Anna. So a big hello to Kate. Kate lives in the northeast of England in a place called Northumberland or Hexham, and I follow her religiously, and her daughter-in-law Anna. She does beautiful oh my goodness, she did a beautiful quilt for her granddaughter, and Agnes, and you have to see it to believe it. It's all hand English paper pieced, and it got me into doing hexes. I've got so many hexes I don't know what to do with them. Got lots of hexes. But she also does things like cushions, and she's got this dog pattern which I want to do, and it's all made out of hexes. I've also got into slow stitching, and slow stitching is a lovely way of teaching me how to perfect the sizing of my stitches, and you can use those. They're like samplers, but what you do is you do them in circles, you do squares and you do different types of stitches. And I love watching Sarah Humphrey embroidery, and also Cherie Iris. They're two YouTubes that do slow stitching, and I love them. So there's a lot of YouTubes out there, and as I'm talking to them, and once I get to know how to perfect this YouTube channel, I'll be able to attach links. I'll have to just figure out how to do it first, and I've had terrible trouble with the sound today, but I'll figure it all out, and I'll be able to share them with you. So I'll leave it go at that, because too much of me talking is going to end up boring you all to no end. So I do look forward to sharing all of this, sharing my journey with you. Probably next week I'm going to start doing my Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and I'll show you how to, right from the start, the cutting out of the felt, putting the pattern on, and I use this Solvay, right, so I trace the pattern onto it, and it's like a sticky, so you trace the pattern onto this, and then you cut this out and you attach it to the wool felt, and that way you know you're getting perfection. So the thing is, it curls after a while and it's hard to get it back in the bag. So yes, and I get that on Amazon. So and it's, I know the last time I didn't, because you have to wet the felt to get it off because it's wash away, and I didn't quite like the residue that it left. So anyway, we'll deal with that as we come across it, and see, I'm not telling you how to do things. I'll show you how I can do things, and then it's entirely up to you to read the pattern and do it whichever way that you feel you can do that. So look, I'm going to leave you all at that, and I'll try and do another video tomorrow. As I said, I'm trying to perfect the sound, so I hope the sound was okay. It took me half the morning to figure out how to download a video, and I still don't know whether it's there. I scheduled it, I did all of that sort of stuff, and but I'm not sure whether it actually worked out. So I will, in time, get to do it a lot better. So all I can say is thank you all very much for listening. I hope you all get something out of these videos. My aim is to inspire, and my passion is craft, and my dog's going crazy because he knows it's dinner time, and I'll see you all again soon. Have a wonderful day, and let there be craft in it. Bye bye.